and welcome to the Hedera Governing Council members tier list, brought to you by the It's Brandond show and viewers like you. All 34 Governing Council members will be ranked from S tier to D tier, unbiased, objective, vibes only. We have comprehensive research that's been completed and reviewed from all available PDFs of Governing Council meeting minutes and deep analysis into each Governing Council member. We have a full table here of qualitative analysis that will be factored into our quantitative analysis. So stay tuned, folks. We'll be diving in right after the break. Don't you touch that dial.
Oh, it's enormous. Kind of a major thing.
It is major. All right, let's find some better music, though. Happy game show. Love it. All right, so how this is going to work is maybe I'll start with the goal of this. The goal of this is not to poo-poo on Governing Council members. The goal of this is to educate, and also there are some really, really good Governing Council members, and we want to give them credit and praise. Right? Now, let me turn this down a little bit. Let me know if the volume on the music's too high. So what we're going to do, and I think I'm going to publish this as well, this research that I've done. We've got every active Governing Council member. Some of these are very new. We're still going to rank them because some of them have maybe been doing some cool things in the space, and we're going to go through each of them and we're going to rank them. We are going to be looking at their meeting attendance for Governing Council member meetings. We're going to be looking at how long they've been Governing Council members, which nodes they are running. We're going to be looking at what different committees they're chairing in the Governing Council. And we're going to be looking at what they've been doing from a network development perspective. Do they have a use case? Do they have announcements? Have they done proof of concepts? All these different types of things. And we also have all sorts of different notes and sources here. Again, I think I'm going to publish this to do this. But basically, how this has been put together is the Governing Council documents. They're available publicly in PDF format. There's about 40 of them. We've parsed those directly. That's how you can accurately track attendance. We've enriched the data with the latest stuff available online, all the recent announcements, anything like that. And we've leveraged on-chain data to ensure, things are correct in regards to node IDs and all sorts of different things like that. So let's start to dive in here. Who do we start with? This is a big question. The biggest question. Maybe we'll start with an OG member. Let's look at, let me see here. Can we look at when they joined? Do I have that in here? Let's start with Google. I mean, let's start with the big boys. Let's start with the big ones. Okay. So Google has been on the council for a long time. Why don't we have the start? Let me just whack Claude here real quick. Yeah, the big guys would be Google, Standard Bank, probably DLA Piper for sure, LG, Magalu. Yeah, there's a couple that are going to be very interesting. Let me just make sure I have the latest version here. We need the latest version available. Ew. Okay, I think we got the latest version here. Hold on. I literally think sometimes VS Code has problems. I'm going to use Z instead. But VS Code displays it much more nicely. Here we go. Okay. Some weird kind of caching thing, I think. Oops. Whoops. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, so let's start with Google. So Google's an interesting one. I mean, obviously probably one of the bigger names on the council, arguably by far. And so Representative Rich Widman, we've got attendance of 17%. So they've attended 17% of governing council meetings. Hold on. What does that mean? Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So, yeah. Their biggest gap too, they have a gap of 6 meetings. And I know that they haven't really announced a use case, and I don't believe that they have, I don't think they talk about Hedera a ton. We're not going to spend a lot of time on each of these, but I just want to drill down on this. Oops, I lost it. Uh-oh, hold on. Oh no. I also too, this is a good thing to mention. This is going to be a template that anyone can use, so we can make this, but I just wanted to take a look at Google and see if there's any chatter about them online, online. If I do Google Hedera, dude, this Hedera intern account is crazy. As I walked into my first Hedera meeting, I realized I had accidentally worn every name tag I had found. Say a prayer for the Hedera intern. What account would they probably tweet about Hedera from? Let's see if they tweeted from the Google account. Google. From Google. Hedera. Oh no. Oh no. What about HBAR? They'd never tweet about HBAR. Jesus. Hashgraph. Because they joined early when it was called Hashgraph. Nothing. Have they, is this search working? Yeah, the search is working. So, damn it. No tweets. I'm going to be honest. I think we're going to have to do, let me put this in its own tab. Just because I don't want it to get busted again. Let's put this in its own window too. Okay. I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to have to put Google in C tier. Just because, big name. So they're obviously not D tier. Google is major. But, attendance rate and, we don't really have a ton of comms from them. There's no real use case. I know that they have use cases for other networks. It is one of those things where I know that this was a governing council member that caused a huge pump in the very early days. People were very, very excited about it. So that is definitely something that, and the only reason I think also too that keeps it at a D tier is Google did host a governing council in-person meeting on their campus, I believe, a couple of years ago, which is very nice. So that is, that is what it is. My eyeballs automatically are going to Ubisoft next. We're coming for Ubisoft. I want to put on some other music too. In the background here, a lot of people have been giving me feedback on the RuneScape music and like it quite a bit, so we're going to put on some RuneScape music. Ubisoft, D tier, straight up. If we look at Ubisoft, again, they've missed more meetings or just as many meetings as Google. They had announced an accelerator at some point. Let me see if I can find this. Hedera Accelerator, Ubisoft. So from February 2022, HBAR Foundation, Ubisoft partnered to support growth of the network. This was an accelerator. Let me see if there's any dollar amounts mentioned. Nothing mentioned here, but it's almost worse doing this than doing nothing at all, just because, the HBAR Foundation is no longer with us, rest in peace. And, there's no cohort ever published. I don't believe. Was there ever an update to this? All I see is a Reddit post of so a D tier. I mean, I don't know how you give them anything else than a D tier, to be honest. Let's take a look here. Let's look at some more OGs here. Wipro joined 2020. Yikes. They've attended 8% of meetings in the past 12 months. And again, these are just past 12 months. We're not going back the full. I kind of just want to scope into the year, just because, again, there's a lot of governing council members that have kind of dropped off, or not. I shouldn't say a lot. There's been maybe 2 or 3 that have been removed or expired and stuff like that. So, we don't want to relitigate a whole bajillion few years of that kind of stuff. And also a note too, governing council meeting minutes have changed. So it used to be that every month there was governing council meeting minutes. Now it's quarterly. So it does make it harder to kind of keep up with what's going on. So essentially, we don't have updates beyond kind of February, I guess, or when would the last one have been? So the last one would have been in March for the quarter 1, but I don't know if those have been published yet. But anyways, Wipro. Now, they did have a pilot, the centralized identity and KYC for an unnamed African bank. And again, feel free to pop into chat and share your insights. We've got some. I'm going to move chat to the other window here because we do have some people chiming in. Google Cloud has tweeted about Hedera. Okay, interesting. Someone says ask Grok. Okay, I'll ask Grok. Let me see here. Well, okay. Let's look and see. Hedera. 2022. Yeah, they did. This is one tweet from Google Cloud. I remember this. Okay. They did a post. Web3 customers in Google Cloud. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Good point. Also Google Cloud Tech. Okay. Let's see. Oops. Hedera Hashgraph chose Google Cloud as its preferred cloud provider. Okay, so this is a post from 2020. So there is a post. I mean, is it enough to move them out of C tier? I don't know. Let's, yeah, and I know we can use Grok to find tweets, but when you ask Grok to find tweets, it literally just uses X search, dude. Watch. We already found all the stuff ourselves. But if I say has Google tweeted about Hedera? All it does is literally just do the same thing we did. It just uses Twitter search. We're probably going to see it use the exact same search queries here. Yeah, it's literally just using Twitter search. But let's see. Who knows? Maybe I missed something. If you're watching, make sure to retweet the space, share it, share a link to all your chats. Yeah, I mean, Grok literally just searches. So it's like, doesn't do anything special. Yeah, C tier is right. Yeah, I mean, C tier is right, to be honest. We got consensus on that. Yeah, if you're watching, hop in chat, share your thoughts, disagree with me. We need to create something that can stand the test of time. All right, who's next? Who's OG? Nomura. Also attending only 17% of meetings in the past 12 months. And the lifetime meetings they've attended is 15%. So, I mean, Google had a big drop off. Google had a big drop off in meeting stuff. Nomura had a big drop off as well. They've had also a stretch of missing a gap of 7 meetings. Looks also too, they had the laser carry fund token. The supply is now 0. So they did have a token by the looks of it. Let's look this up. Agree. So when was this published? 2025. This is a PR Newswire article. Is there a token ID? Yeah, this isn't on Hedera. This is on a different network. So, I mean, yeah, if you got a token that's not online and big drop off in meetings. When does their term expire? This year? I would say I'd have to put them at C tier. Why not D tier? Because they at least tried to get a token off the ground. They ran some transaction on chain, and they did have almost a 60% attendance record for meetings. So, I mean, D tier is pretty. It's a pretty strong, big deal to put, someone in D tier. I mean, if you're in D tier, you're next to Ubisoft, which is like horrific. So, Nomura, barely making it by. I wish I could split it, but barely making it by. And I think what we'll do is we'll also use the kind of left to right for sub ranking. So obviously Google ahead of Nomura, of course. Let's also look at who else would be good to look at. An OG member. I mean, Swirlds, obviously. So Swirlds is a permanent member. They have a governance seat on TechCom, CoinCom, UseCom, council chair, board chair, right? So we got Mance Harmon, we got CoinCom, Lehman Baird, TechCom. So for those who are not aware or deeply invested in the lore, there is Swirlds. This is the white paper. So Swirlds LLC. This is like the OG Hedera stuff, right? So Swirlds is where the hash graph algorithm was created, and not to be confused with Swirlds Labs that went on to become Hashgraph, which is which is the firm responsible for marketing and building the network and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, Swirlds is a different entity. Swirlds is the only permanent governing council member. And the big deal about that is obviously there are 50 billion HBAR. There's not supposed to be any more HBAR ever minted, and Swirlds, specifically Lehman, has stated pretty strongly that Swirlds would be a permanent no if there were a vote to mint more than 50 billion HBAR. So they have 100% attendance. Obviously, they did the white paper. I mean, it's kind of the GOAT. I mean, I have to do S tier. I mean, if anyone is against that, let me know, but I've got to do S tier because 100% attendance, Lehman Baird, Mance Harmon, creators of the hash graph, holding the fort down strong on capping the 50 billion HBAR. They sold the IP in 2022 and eventually it's laddered up into Hyro and all that kind of stuff. Governing council member since 2017. I mean, I don't know what more you say. S tier. I don't know what else to say. More OG members. Magalu. Ooh. 100% attendance on governing council meetings. We've got the MEMCOM chair, the membership committee chair. They only operate a node. This is a tough one. No use case. This is a tough one. And again, let me know if I'm inaccurate about this. Hedera Council. Where can I see so there's the board of directors, right? So we got Bill Miller, Tom Sylvester, Duncan Moore, all that kind of stuff. Chair of Hedera Council, Mance Harmon. Committees. So this is the MEMCOM, membership committee. Membership, right? So here we go. I mean, Simon Olsen is bringing it up here. 100% attendance, good engagement, but no use case. Definitely not C tier, but not A tier. I mean, this is a good candidate for B tier. I mean, we can always move these around as we go, but that's it. Okay. Other OG members. Let's get these out of the way. Avery Dennison. Notorious. So we've got almost 100% overall. We got 98% attendance for governing council meetings. They've only ever missed one, essentially, or a gap of one. They had a use case, as we know, Atma.io, which was pushing the network at a few thousand transactions per second with the HCS stuff. They were responsible for a lot of eyeballs on Hedera, a huge lift of the ecosystem. I would say they probably had one of the strongest use cases on the network. Obviously, unfortunately, shut down. And of course, it was subsidized. And there's a lot of criticism in that where they were given a bunch of HBAR to pay for their use case. But I will say that what that essentially entails is that none of that HBAR was used to pay for salaries or different things. That value didn't leave the ecosystem. They weren't selling any HBAR. They were just using that to pay for transactions. So effectively it was HBAR going back into the treasury, back into staking holders' wallets. Overall, pretty healthy. And they've been around forever. And they did a lot of cool stuff where Hedera Gouli says, I think A to Swirlds because, again, their socials are silent, not a post, not one post since 2018. I'm going to think about it. That's a good point. I'm going to leave Swirlds an S for now, S for Swirlds. But I'm gonna refer back to this comment. That's a good point. But for Avery Dennison, they also did a lot of, Avery Dennison also is a company that develops physical NFC type things. So they were or are doing use cases around that. And I mean, again, never really missing any meetings, engaged. They're not on a committee. I don't know. A for Avery Dennison. I don't know what else to say. A tier. It can't be understated the impact they had on the network. You can argue about the efficacy of the use case or whatever it might be, but it did stress test the network. It did bring a crap ton of eyeballs to it. It did some good stuff. And it's A for Avery Dennison. Don't know what else to say. More OG members. LSE, London Stock Exchange, up for renewal next year. Attended 91% of governing council meetings. Only ever missed a gap of one. In the past year, 12 months, they've attended 100%. They are on CoinCom as well. CoinCom is, so who's on CoinCom? Jeremy Grant. Okay. And Tom. Oh, and I remember too, London Stock Exchange. I will say this, and this is why they may be up there, is because they also have representatives that were on X actively advocating for the network when other networks were kind of poo-pooing Hedera's either like environmental angle or capabilities of the network or whatever it might be. They're OG, and they did a lot of the original stuff. I know the carbon credit stuff isn't like big right now. They do not have a use case. They've had a node. They've operated their node. I would have to say B tier. Is that the logo? Is that the right logo? Yeah, it's the right logo. Funky logo. Funky logo. Yeah, B tier. B tier. LG. Good attendance overall. They've missed, their longest gap was missing 3 meetings in a row. Joined in 2020. The past 12 months, they have 100% attendance, which is great to see. They're up for renewal at the end of this year. Their representative is Paolo Lee. They had a use case. So they had LG Art Lab where they did those TVs with the Berry Ball thing. Big fuss on that. They also did their own wallets. You could buy NFTs on the TV. They also had the LG Art Lab stuff, which shut down. I mean, LG, good attendance, engagement, and again, effort, actually putting a use case out there, putting money behind it, building up infrastructure, and they did engage with the ecosystem. The question comes up like, okay, their choice was to go the NFT route and make a big bet on NFTs. Obviously, with the bear market that set in a few years ago, NFTs did not do very well. So obviously, some stuff can be attributed to that. Now, there are other NFT projects like Dead Pixels that are still alive and still here. So there's that. It's tough. LG. It's tough. Tough. Get in the chat if you have comments on it, but I'm stuck between A tier and B tier. I'm going to put them at the top of B tier just because they would be A tier if they still had a use case running, I think. But just because they don't, they're going to have to be B tier unless anyone has any other thoughts. Here's some other OGs. EDF. So EDF is one that probably a lot of people aren't familiar with. So EDF is one of the world's largest electricity producers in Europe. And of course, they're in the council. They did do proof of concepts. I remember talking about it on my old show. So they did do proof of concepts, not a kind of live use case. I don't know if anything has really kind of materialized from it. They did another proof of concept as well. So they have built stuff. They have like decent meeting attendance. They've missed, their biggest gap was missing 5 meetings in a row. They're up for renewal next year. And they are on TechCom. Susan. TechCom. Yeah. So, I mean, I would have to say B tier, right? Fair enough. I might put them ahead of Magalu, right there. So, yeah. IIT Madras, we've got about 50% attendance. You know, not too bad. They shared back in 2021 that they have intent for research and development, but we don't really have any artifacts for that. Biggest gap, they missed 6. I mean, C tier. That's their logo too. I mean, that logo's sick, but I just want to make sure that's their logo. Yeah, okay. I mean, what more can you say? Not a lot to say about those guys. Not D tier though. Now we're getting into the old ones. Deutsche Telekom, 2019 joined. They've got a meeting. Their meeting attendance has gone up a bit, just over 40% this year in the last 12 months versus an average of 33. They've missed, their biggest gap was missing 16 meetings. I think, so it looks like they are trialing enterprise verified caller ID. I want to see if we have any info about this. Let's grok it. Oh my God, how do I spell Deutsche Telekom? My God. If nothing comes up here, then it'll have to be, I don't know, it'll have to be C tier. We got almost 300 people that are tuned in on X. Support the show. Share with your friends. Share in your group chats. We're getting spicy in here. We are doing the tier list for Hedera Governing Council members. Way overdue. Share your hot takes in chat. I will read them. About this, but I'm curious to see what the latest update is on it. If the update isn't from the last 12 months, then we're gonna have to put them in C tier. Unfortunately. Okay, hold on. June 2026. Interesting. I want to see the source here. And I hope it's not a tweet from some stupid friggin' thing. Oh, okay. Official Hedera blog. Identity in the Agentic Era. Mentioned in the article. Okay. Deutsche Telekom. All right. We're going to go B tier just for the attendance record. Not great. But, you know, we're going to put them just behind EDF. Just behind EDF. Chainlink Labs. We have 33% meeting attendance for the last 12 months. We've got 32% average. They've missed the biggest gap of 16 meetings. But they do have data feeds, proof of reserve, all sorts of stuff in production. That's been the biggest complaint about Chainlink Labs. We've had them on the council for 5 years. You know, Oracle's data, all those different types of things have been a big gap in the ecosystem. So I would say before they went live with their use case, It would be a situation where I would probably put them C tier. But because they have this use case live and it is needed by the ecosystem, I would put them in B tier, but I can't put them in A tier just because of the lack of engagement. And I will put them at the top of B tier. So almost A tier, not A tier worthy though. It also looks like we have a spaces happening here we might want to tune into. 8 years of HBAR. So we may take a break from the tier list and tune in and listen to that for a minute because I'm very curious on that. We'll pop in and see if anything interesting is happening. Who would be next? Tata Communications. This is an interesting one. So let's look at the website here. Big company. Lots of different things going on. Crazy corporate website. Holy Jesus. It's like traveling back in time. Revenue, 2.8 billion, 2025. Big company. They promised some proof of concept stuff in 2020. We didn't really get shipment on any of that stuff. They are up for renewal at the end of this year. They have missed a gap of 10 meetings in a row for some reason, but their attendance has gone up this year. C tier. I will, however, put them ahead of IIT Madras and ahead of Nomura. It's tough because, like, I don't know. These brands, so Nomura and Google, the brands are big enough. The logos bring that weight to the governing council that I think helps big time. So yeah, we also have Zain. Okay, Zain is an interesting one. Meeting attendance has gone up. Biggest gap is missing 3 meetings, so not a huge deal. They do have a proof of concept. Okay, okay. Interesting stuff. Let's grok it. Anything new? I'm interested to know. All right, Grok is grokking it. Zain, we'll see what comes back. It's going to be dependent on what Grokawaka says. Shinhan Bank, longtime council member, good attendance, dropped off a little bit this year. They're out for renewal next year. Just a quick reminder, governing council members are term limited. So, The other thing too is they did, I will say, so Shinhan Bank did do a good proof of concept with cross-border settlement as well. That grabbed some eyeballs. They also did it with Standard Bank. We should treat these two together because they did, look at this. They both did settlement and remittance proof of concepts that did move the needle. So Shinhan Bank, it's a great brand too, a great global brand. They're up for renewal next year. Term limit. The governing council members can only serve a maximum of 2 terms. I would say Shinhan Bank. I'd put them in B tier. And Standard Bank. So Shinhan Bank, decent meeting attendance. And then where was Standard Bank? So Standard Bank, they've got great attendance this year. They did a similar proof of concept. They are also on Usecom and CoinCom. Let's verify that. Yeah, okay. Standard Bank, we're going to put it at the top of B tier. Just because, I mean, way more engaged than Chainlink. They had a good proof of concept that, again, did move the needle for the ecosystem. So, it is what it is. Ooh. IBM. Let's check out real quick. I want to see what's going on with the Hedera stream happening right now. It's been 8 years. It's the 8-year birthday of Hedera, folks, of mainnet. Oh, real quick, we can wrap up with Zain. I don't know what the latest is Zain's use case. I'm going to take a peeky poo at what's going on with the Hedera spaces from the Hedera community channel. Let's tune in. Hopefully it's not too quiet. I'm curious to see what's happening in the space.
I remember back then being like, man, I hope I don't lose this. I hope I don't lose this, a couple hundred HBAR. But that was awesome. I think that was 3 weeks. And that is, Brandon, you're there earlier than me, but I remember that was my first hurrah, was 2019, I think was daily timestamp and participating in that stuff.
Yeah, I guess it was spring of 2019, right?
Yeah, I think May or somewhere around there. I thought it was later, but I looked again and it was like May or something like that. I think they sent emails out for participating in open access in late 2018 and opened it up in early 2019.
That's it. I also remember 2018, 2019, getting on Telegram and all that kind of stuff, and people going through their wish list of, who would be on the council. It was before even the first crop. The first crop was pretty good, but I would say the council we've put together is one of the places where Hedera has exceeded expectations a bit. Now we just got to get a lot more transaction and utility of the network, and we'll be in good shape.
Just going back to Zain real quick.
My next little milestone is
looks like May. So recent stuff is May. So we'll put him in right behind Chainlink. Now, we're going back to ranking governing council members. Our tier list is looking good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they didn't do it from the Hedera account. I don't know, man. It would be cool to have Manson Lehman on there. I don't know what to say. Lehman was on the technical steering call this morning, though. Had a chance to say hello to him, which was nice. So let's continue working our way down from early members. Let's see here. Wipro. So Wipro, abysmal, absolutely abysmal meeting attendance rate. Like busted. Busted. 8% attendance rate this year. Jesus. Average of 18%. Longest gap missing 15 in a row. Like, brother. Jesus, Murphy. I mean, they did have a proof of concept pilot. Decentralized identity and KYC for an unnamed African bank. I mean, God damn. I'd have to put them in D tier, straight up. Straight up, dude. Ubisoft, of course at the bottom. Just because, what a big brand. What a waste. But Wipro, I mean, good God, brother. I don't like it. Gross. Ew. Okay, what else we got on here? Dentons. 83% attendance rate this year. Decent. Holding from their average. They announced tokenization and smart legal contracts in 2020. I don't think we have any updates from them on that, but they do have a great attendance rate. No use case though. An announcement. I'd have to put them in B tier ahead of Magalu. That's what my gut tells me. That's what my gut tells me. That's what my gut tells me. Australian Payments Plus. This is a very interesting one. So, Australian Payments Plus didn't have the greatest meeting track record, 73% overall. The last 12 months, they have a 92% attendance record. Their renewal is up next year. They have already renewed as a member, so there's that. This was also Rob Allen's company. So folks don't know, Rob Allen was at Australian Payments Plus, then he moved to Hashgraph. Now he's at the other startup, Icon Future. So there is the Rob Allen effect. And also too, they do have a pilot, very recent, Project Acacia interchange, that there was an article on. There was a demo and stuff built very recently. To be honest, it would be this. I would have them in B tier. Okay? But I am going to put them in A tier just because of the recent juice. And furthermore, to be honest, I'd have to put them ahead of Avery Dennison because of the Rob Allen effect. Just out of respect for Sharky Rob, the man. And for the attendance record trending upwards. So I'd have to put them there. A for Australian Payments Plus. Big Daddy here, IBM, International Business Machines. 92% attendance record, up from 89 overall. 2 representatives. And they have in production digital asset haven custody platform. Hedera's in the shipping docks. So there is stuff in production from IBM. Also too, I'll do something here, which is gonna be interesting. By default, I'd put them in the top of A tier to start with, right? But if I'm correct, they were involved with the Hedera Consensus Service Design. This is an article from. So they do have a lot of stuff published about Hedera. Let me see here. I wish I could find the original PDF. So they were involved with the design of the Hedera Consensus Service. So to be honest, and again, very, very long-standing council member, good meeting attendance. Like, I have to put them in S tier. I mean, what edges them out is the fact that they were, instrumental in the development of the consensus service of the network, and they've been around forever. OG, it's IBM. I mean, I don't know what to say. People can push back, but that's what it is. Let's see what else. Let's start picking them off now. Let's go top to bottom. Aero Capital, very new. They've attended 5 council meetings, all 5. Their term expires in 2 years. They've announced supply chain visibility stuff they're exploring. I want to know more about that. What's going on with the Aero Capital Hedera supply chain use case? Let's grok it. We're searching it. We're grokking it. See if I have any meetings coming up. We might have to. Oh, hell yeah. Looking all clear. Looking good. So 2025. I don't know what the current status of this stuff is. So nothing yet. New council member. Building something. And again, the important thing to keep in mind that we talked about recently was the fact that last year Hedera did change the criteria for governing council members, where you can't just join the governing council willy-nilly. You have to be building a use case. There has to be stuff going on. You've got to have some motion. So clearly they're doing some stuff. I'd put them above Chainlink, I'd put them above Chainlink just because it's tough. Their attendance is good. Now I'll put them below Chainlink. Tough. All right. Blockchain for Energy. They've been on the council for a bit. Let me see here. So this is, emissions reporting stuff. This is from last summer. They've got the B4E carbon, DMRV emissions registry. I remember talking about this. 2 reps on the council. They're in production. They're up for renewal in 2 years. They've attended all their meetings so far. They've had 4 so far. They've attended all of them. And they're live. I mean, this is fresh stuff. This is fresh. I will put them... I'm going to have to put them top of B tier. Or... it's tough. If they had a little bit more of a track record... I want to put them in A tier, but I feel like that's crazy. Let me see if their socials are like... If they're popping on socials, if they've got like hot stuff going on socials, then maybe that's going to change things. All right. Do they even have an account? Yeah, they do. All right, is it popping? Ugh. Yikes. Corporate slop. B tier it is. B tier it is, guys. Nairobi Stock Exchange. They've announced tokenized securities. They're pending regulation clearance. They've attended 8 meetings. All of them full attendance. Is there motion? Let's find out. What is... How do you spell Nairobi? Oh my God. If it's hot and ready. I know they've been pretty engaged with stuff as well. Are there on any committees? No. We're almost at 400 people that have tuned in here. If you want to support the show, give it a share. Share it with your friends. Share it in the group chats. One of the biggest ways to support is copy and paste the link places and share it. That is nice for the algorithm. So share it in your group chats. Tell people to pop in. Let them know we're getting to the bottom of this official ranking of governing council members for the Hedera network. Okay. I'll put them below. I'll put them just below blockchain for energy stuff. They're cooking. They've announced some stuff. We're not going to count them out yet. They're fairly new, right, compared to most. So we'll let them cook. Mondelēz. They got a pilot for SKUX consumer offer payments phase 1. Zain is in the corporate Usecom. So if we go to the Usecom, or I guess that's Memcom now. No, yet network utilization, that's what it is. There he is there. Rob Allen's on there. He's been on a lot of interviews too. This guy, I mean, not only does the pompadour go hard, and he's got style like crazy. I mean, he's in a lot of videos. He's like doing a lot of stuff. I've seen him around. So, and I mean, they do have a pilot going, like SKUX, like this stuff did move the needle on stuff. I know those types of things are interesting. They've only missed one by the looks of it, council meeting. Here's what I'd say. I would put them up here, B tier, but this is the most important consideration to make is Oreos. They make Oreos. They make a lot of snacks. They make Toblerone. They make a lot of things. And you know, we're not now just talking about digital assets and tokenization. We're talking about delicious snacks, which you really have to seriously factor in. I don't know. I'm A tier. A tier between AP Plus and Avery Dennison. I don't know. Good attendance. They're on a committee. They've got stuff in a pilot. You know, it's recent enough. I mean, that is a good point. Chat says, I mean, snacks starts with S, just saying. True. We could put them in S tier. The reason I wouldn't is because when we look at like Swirlds, right? IBM, they're just been around so long in the council. They have a ton of history, right? Almost like they've got almost 20 years between the two of them. And Mondelēz, 2 years, right? We've been rocking for 2 years. So that's the only reason I would put them there. You could argue that they're ahead of AP Plus. AP Plus does have the Rob Allen effect, having been there. So aspiring S tier, yeah. Solid A tier. Agreed. All right, let's move on. DLA Piper. So DLA Piper is an interesting one. They've been on the council for a long time. They kind of fell off a little bit. Then they had their Toco platform. Then they launched Scintilla, which is like digital asset stuff. Is Hedera going to show up here on the little tickers? XRP. Oh my God. I just want to see if Hedera's listed on here, these dumb animations. Can I just view the source? Can we just go like look and do a control F for Hedera? Ugh. It's not on here. Okay. Damn. Well, I mean, DLA Pipers, they've been involved for a long time, similar to IBM, right? They have a great attendance record. They're also on Memcom. They did have a pilot. Looks like it did end at some point. Scintilla, a little bit Not sure. HBAR is not on their website. Who's on Memcom? Okay, Christie. I would say B tier. The trouble is now, where do we put them? They've been around for a long time. They did have a use case. They did do some good. Like Scott Thiel was at DLA Piper. He was involved with the Hedera board. Mixed opinions on him. Met him at a conference. Little guy too. Been around a long time. I can't figure out how I would put them above Chainlink or Standard Bank. I'm gonna have to put them here. And again, that's just because great attendance record and time on the council. They're due up by the end of the year though, so we'll see. Aberdeen. Great attendance record, 92% this over the past 12 months. Good representation. They did in production. They've got tokenized money market funds via Arcax. If people missed out on that, let's go here. Arcax, Hedera. All right. This was a clip from HederaCon this year. Here, let's watch this real quick.
Maybe the most exciting instrument that we're using it for, which we haven't publicly announced yet, so you're learning about it here today, is US T-bill. So we're using this pool token structure. So you own a token, and it's always the front month short-dated T-bill. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to roll it or anything. It auto rolls underneath. And of course, the beauty of that is, well, A, you don't have to do anything. You get direct access to a T-bill without having to manage that. But the really exciting thing is it qualifies as HQLA. So it's high-quality liquid asset. So the banks will accept it. And actually, if you want the T-bill, you can break the token and have it back. So you have direct ownership, a direct lien on the underlying T-bill. I think that's...
So Arcax is doing a lot of stuff. I mean, Arcax should be a freaking council member. Now, is Aberdeen, how involved are they with Arcax? Also, too, the other thing to remember, so Duncan Moore, who was at Aberdeen council member, is now on the board of directors for Hedera. And he's the president of 21 Shares now, currently, that's not on the council. But it does, people have said breadcrumbs of like, ooh, is 21 Shares going to join the council? And I mean, 21 Shares is massive. 21 Shares is massive, right? $6.5 billion under management. So big stuff. So, I mean, a lot of momentum from Aberdeen coming into the council, spinning off into different things. And the tokenized money market fund stuff was huge, right? That drove a lot of stuff for the network. Great attendance record. It's so crazy. I'm gonna have to put them in A tier, bottom of A tier, just because. Actually, you know what? The stuff is in production. Like, this is stuff being used today. I'm gonna have to put them above Mondelēz. Very similar to Avery Dennison, where it kind of drove the narrative. They did some good stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do A tier. Straight up. BitGo, decent attendance record. They've been at 16 of their meetings, right? Holding at least, above 80% attendance record in this year. They do have a board seat. Okay. Frank Wang. And here's the thing. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this guy. And I've heard a lot of feedback from projects building in the ecosystem that utilize BitGo's services that do also have good feedback. BitGo is doing good stuff for the ecosystem, and this guy, Frank, does seem like a legit dude. on the board. They are also doing HBAR custody for enterprises, and they also do custody for the Canary ETF, which drives a lot of narrative for the ecosystem. They are underpinning a lot of stuff. They have good attendance as a governing council member. This is tough. This is calling Avery Dennison into question straight up, because this is interesting. So A tier, the reason that Avery Dennison was in A tier is because of the AMIO use case that really put Hedera on the map in certain ways, but it hasn't been live for a while, over a year. This is tough. This is really tough. To be straight up, I think we're gonna have to bump Avery Dennison down to B tier. A tier is starting to feel a little crowded. And I'm gonna have to move Magalu down to C tier above Google, just because they've been consistent. As B tier has grown, they've been consistently at the tail end of B tier. So we're gonna have to move them down as well to C tier. Sorry, but this does feel a lot better though. All right, we're getting down to some stuff. We're gonna do Dell. Again, good meeting attendance. They're also sitting on MEMCOM, the membership committee. All right, we got David on membership committee. They have a proof of concept, which involves code. So they are building stuff. Also too, is Dell involved in the the Hedera NVIDIA stuff or whatever? The Equity Labs stuff? No. That was Intel, I mean, Dell's huge. Dell is huge. A lot of people don't understand so much of the hardware that powers the internet, in which blockchain infrastructure rolls through, is Dell machines. It's Dell servers. At HGraph, Dell servers. So they do have a proof of concept. They've been on the council for 3 years. Great attendance. It's it's an obvious B tier. I'm going to put them above blockchain for energy. That's where we'll put them. It feels right. It feels okay. It feels good. It is what it is. Let's move on. So we've got all these folks. We've done everyone here. Okay, now the interesting stuff. We've got new people. We've got new folks. We've got FedEx. We've got Repsol. We've got Accenture. We've got McLaren. These are the four. Oh, and we have ServiceNow. We forgot ServiceNow. ServiceNow. We're going back to ServiceNow. Good attendance. They've announced a platform. They haven't shipped it. No committee seat. Big brand and enterprise. Again, they've been on the council for 5 years, which kind of is a knock against them, to be honest. If you've been on the council that long, you don't have a use case. And it's an announcement only. What do we have Dentons at again? Dentons also announced only. Deutsche Telekom. going to throw them near the bottom of B tier. They're kind of looped in. It's one of those situations where they announce stuff. Maybe there's some pilots. There's just a couple years ago, and there just hasn't been a lot going on. So there's that. I mean, that's that. Oh yeah, and we forgot Hitachi. Horrible meeting attendance. Jesus. They've been on here for 2 years, but horrific meeting attendance. They've missed 7 meetings in a row. They've announced supply chain proof of concepts and nothing shipped. I'm going to throw them at the bottom of C tier. Feels right. Is what it is. I mean, is what it is, guys. All right. FedEx. New governing council member. They've attended 1 council meeting, so, that's good. They've announced supply chain intent. There's no artifact for it yet. FedEx is a big get, and I'm bullish because, again, they joined this year, which means that they're joining with plans to do a use case. We're still early. And they did attend their first council meeting. So an obvious B tier, but where do they land? They're fresh. So I kind of am like, it would be okay to put them like here. But again, they don't have the background of some of these folks, but it is exciting. Have they posted about Hedera at all? This is what would decide it. If they've posted about Hedera, then that would change things meaningfully. They did do some stuff. Let's see. If they didn't post, then we'll leave them where they are. Nope. Okay. It's fair. That's fair. That's fair. We're giving them a shot. They're new. Repsol. New member. They've announced supplier digital identity. They are sitting on TechCom. So they're sitting on TechCom with Lehman Baird. Okay. They've missed their only governing council meeting, though, which is crazy. Not off to a great start in that regard. Yeah, and they joined in December, so they joined before FedEx. So they're definitely going to be below FedEx. I would probably put them... I'd put them at the top of C tier. This is a little brutal. It's a little brutal. I'm just doing that because, I mean, guys, it's you missed your first governing council meeting. That's kind of crazy, to be honest. Accenture announced this is the newest council member. They have a proof of concept for AI agent governance demo with Equity Lab, as we know. And that's been a fairly hot use case, so it has been driving things. They haven't had an opportunity to attend any council meetings yet. They do have a powerful brand, an obvious B tier. It's so tough because I want to put them higher up in B tier just because huge, like this is one of the ones we've wanted to have for a while. And you know what? I will put them there. I'll put them here because, I mean, they're going to have high expectations on them, right? Very high expectations. McLaren Racing. New council member. I don't think they've had an opportunity to attend a meeting yet. They have NFT collectibles in production, so the NFT ecosystem, which is, again, great for the retail ecosystem, so I like that. And they have been doing content as well as they were in the recent America 250 race. We've got the Hedera logo on the side of the car there. Yeah, and they're doing their collection stuff. The drop is loading. Like, it looks cool. Hedera MasterCard, you know, Arrowhead IndyCar team, 150,000 followers, tagging Hedera. I mean, this is very interesting, guys. Like, this stuff's really interesting. Are they S tier or are they A tier is the question. We're gonna have to make some adjustments here real quick. I think we got to move someone from B tier down to C tier straight up. We're gonna have to move Dentons down to C tier, and this might be a little controversial. I'm gonna put McLaren. I'm gonna put McLaren A tier above Mondelēz. And this is kind of crazy again because very new council member, not a lot of history, right? No opportunity to attend meetings, but they're minting NFTs. The logo's on their car. They're out there. They've got a large following. They're tagging Hedera. They're doing more than a lot of other governing council members, frankly. So I mean, this, like, I don't know. This feels right. Let's take another quick look at this. So, quick recap here on the governing council rankings. If people have just tuned in, we've been conferencing with chat. We've been going back and forth. We've spent quite a bit of time on this. This took a bit of time to do. We've done the research. We've crunched the numbers. We've ranked governing council members and considered them based off of their membership term length, their meeting attendance, their use cases, their committee chair or their committee involvement, all that different type of stuff. We've ranked them. The justifications have been shared. And this is where we stand. Bringing up the rear in D tier, we've got Wipro and Ubisoft. In C tier, we got Dentons, Repsol, Magalu, Google, Nomura, Tata Communications, IIT Madras, and Hitachi. In B tier, we've got Avery, Dennison, Dell Technologies, FedEx, Blockchain for Energy, Nairobi Stock Exchange. We've got Standard Bank. We've got Chainlink, Accenture, DLA Piper, Aero Capital, Zain, LG, Shinhan Bank, London School of Economics, EDF, ServiceNow, and Deutsche Telekom. In A tier, we've got BitGo, Australia Payments Plus, Aberdeen, McLaren, and Mondelēz. And in S tier, we've got Swirlds, and we've got IBM. It feels right. It feels right. Are we going to lock this in? Yeah. I think we're going to lock this in. We're locking it in. August 2026.